You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
The cells have the highest concentration of midichlorians I have seen in a life form.
The chosen one, the boy may be. Nevertheless, grave danger I fear in his training.
What will happen to me now?
The Council have granted me permission to train you. You will be a Jedi.
I'd much rather dream about Padme. Just being around her again is intoxicating.
Believe me, I wish that I could just wish away my feelings. But I can't.
I killed them. I killed them all. They're dead.
Thought that we had decided not to fall in love. That we would be forced to live a lie.
Obi-Wan and the Council don't trust me. I'm not the Jedi I should be. I want more. Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
You turned her against me!
You have allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind until now. Until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Where is Padme? Is she safe?
Anakin Skywalker, one of the most iconic characters ever to be created. He was the chosen one, the Jedi that was supposed to bring balance to the Force. But instead, everything went terribly wrong, and Anakin became consumed by the dark side. In this video, I will break down just how that happened, and the many reasons that this young innocent boy became manipulated onto the wrong path in life. I want to start this discussion by talking about one of my favorite Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn. He wasn't the ordinary Jedi, and that was the reason he wasn't on the Council. Qui-Gon had an unorthodox view of things. He still thought that a Jedi was supposed to care and love, and that it wasn't a problem. When he later finds a young Anakin attached to his mother, Qui-Gon understood how Anakin needed to be trained. The Council only saw the bad in the so-called Chosen One, when at the same time Qui-Gon saw hope and peace to the galaxy. My point is that Qui-Gon was the perfect master for Anakin, and also a very good father figure, who would understand his problems, because they both were a bit different. In The Phantom Menace, we see the duel of the fates. Dave Filoni explains this fight perfectly in an episode of Disney Gallery The Mandalorian. It's the duel that will determine Anakin's future, and when Qui-Gon dies, the hope for a good future dies with him. Qui-Gon needed to be alive to guide Anakin. Obi-Wan wasn't enough, and he didn't either understand how to train and mentor him. This displays yet another light on how naive the Council was. Why would a newly formed Jedi Knight like Obi-Wan be the master to one of the most powerful kids ever represented to the Council? Anakin was also way too old to actually be trained, and that is another reason why he should have been mentored by a Jedi with a great deal of experience, instead of a young knight. The Council didn't trust either Qui-Gon or Anakin, and that is just another example of why everything turned out as it did. When we leave Anakin after the Phantom Menace, he already has two very strong attachments. One is to his mother, and the other one is to Padme. That was later going to be a problem, because Anakin would not be able to let go of them. He would always have the fear of losing them inside of him. And you know what Yoda says about fear.
Fear is the path to the dark side.
He also had a heavy burden of the prophecy of the Chosen One on his shoulders. That is a lot of pressure on a 9-year-old boy. People doubted him, but also cherished him. Everyone was observing him. Even the senator from Naboo, that later would become the Chancellor of the Republic, was watching him with great interest. In Attack of the Clones, the two very strong attachments that Anakin has is driving his story forward. You as a viewer sees how crazy he is about Padme, and that it isn't healthy, and that he clearly can't handle it. As the movie progresses, they fall more and more in love. Anakin knows it's wrong, that it's not the Jedi way, but as I said, he can't let go of his attachments, because nobody has taught him how to do it. His mother's death and how Anakin reacts is the first clear sign of what is going to happen eventually. Anakin gets so very angry, and it's because of two main reasons. The first one is that he blames the Council because he told them, and especially Obi-Wan, many times that he wanted to save his mother. He also felt like he could be stronger than what he was, and that the Council was holding him back. The other reason is that he blames himself. As you remember, Anakin promised his mother that he would come back and free her, but he never had a chance to do it because he was training and the Council also forbid attachments. This is the problem. Anakin was too old when he started training, and that's why his attachments are so strong. These problems wouldn't just go away, and the Jedi were terrible teachers because they never felt love themselves, because it was forbidden. All they could say was to let go of everything you ever loved, but that didn't help Anakin at all. Instead of talking about his problems with the Jedi, he did it with Padme. Padme was the only one he could trust, and now when his mother died, the only one he could love. They get married secretly at the end of Attack of the Clones, and that symbolizes the beginning of the downfall of Anakin Skywalker. In the Clone Wars, we follow Anakin and all his closest friends as the war against the Separatists continues. What the Clone Wars succeeded with was that it showed and expanded Anakin's turn by putting him in situations that made the dark side of him appear. Examples of this is when Obi-Wan fakes his death, but doesn't tell Anakin. We see how devastated he becomes, and how unbalanced he is. He gets angry and starts to blame himself, that he could have saved Obi-Wan. This is all because of what happened to his mother. Anakin is scared to hell about losing someone he cares about, because he had already felt the feeling of it. When it later gets revealed that the Council and Obi-Wan tricked Anakin, he gets even more angry, and the distance and understanding between the Jedi Order and Anakin floats further away. The Clone Wars planted seeds of darkness inside of him, and over 7 seasons of the TV show, Anakin's turn in Revenge of the Sith became much more relatable and actually plausible. So when Revenge of the Sith rolls around, Anakin is torn. He's frustrated on the Council because of many reasons, like not trusting him and how they treated his Padawan Ahsoka Tano. He's tired of hiding his feelings for Padme, and the relationship between him and Obi-Wan is starting to fall apart after a 3-year-long war.
I hope you at least told Padme I said hello.
Padme is pregnant, and that just brings out even more feelings Anakin will not be able to handle. Everything slowly starts to boil over from every single point of view of his life. He starts having nightmares about Padme dying, and the feeling of uncertainty is colossal within him. Anakin now wants to and needs to save her life, whatever the cost might be, even if, from his point of view, it only was a nightmare. He also gets invited to sit on the Council, but not to be promoted to Master, like he feels he deserves, but instead to spy on the suspicious Chancellor. Anakin does not take this lightly. He gets furious and thinks it's an insult. The trust between them is now on an almost non-existent line, and because of this, his confidence for the Chancellor is instead stronger than ever. Palpatine had always been on Anakin's side for a reason, mainly to manipulate him. Sidious is so smart, and the way he tricks a desperate Anakin into thinking that the dark side of the Force is the only way out is extremely clever. By saying that he could teach Anakin how to save his wife from dying, Palpatine is now untouchable. Anakin needs him alive, and the confrontation between Mace Windu and Sidious is the ultimate example of this. He helps Sidious instead of Mace, because his love for his wife is so strong, and the attachment at this point is unbreakable. Anakin doesn't either trust Mace after everything they've been through over the years, and when the Jedi decides that he wants to kill Palpatine, Anakin feels like he has to intervene. It's many different circumstances coming together in a crucial moment that leads to Anakin bending the knee to Palpatine. He's cornered by the dark side, and instead of fighting it, he welcomes it, because Padme's love is everything. You could argue that if Obi-Wan or Ahsoka would have been close by, things could have ended differently. Instead, Anakin fully had to rely on the Chancellor, because he was the only one who actually had a solution to his problems. When Padme travels to Mustafar to see for herself what has happened, Anakin is almost fully committed to the dark side. The little light he had left inside of him disappears when he force chokes his wife and blames everything on Obi-Wan. What takes place next is a battle between a lost and angry boy and his master. All the hate, all the frustration he has for the Jedi, the loss of his mother, Obi-Wan not helping him, and Padme refusing to join him, is floating through his veins. Anakin is no longer holding back, and it's the arrogance of him thinking he's stronger and more powerful than Obi-Wan that causes his destruction. The last thing Anakin says to his former master and friend is, "I hate you." But it's not Anakin talking anymore. At this point, it's nothing left but regret. He's trapped, and the only reason he keeps fighting is the hope that Padme may still be alive. He doesn't care about anything else anymore, and maybe he never did. Padme was always on his mind, and the story would eventually go down this path anyway. The Sith uses their feelings and emotions to make them stronger, and Anakin couldn't handle his emotions. Eventually, they were going to show up, and that's what happened in Revenge of the Sith. As I said in the beginning, Qui-Gon was Anakin's only hope to understand how to deal with his inner problems. But that hope died a long time ago. His emotions got the better of him. When you are that powerful, it makes it extremely hard to handle. The story of Anakin Skywalker is a tragic one, and I can't say that it is his fault. Anakin didn't choose to become the Chosen One, and his problems should have been handled better by the Jedi. Once again, the Jedi show how naive they had become, and the downfall of the Order and Anakin Skywalker is their own responsibility. They turned this curious and happy little boy into a soulless monster that would do terrible things for many years to come. But that's a story for another day. Thank you for watching.